Mara walked through the quiet alien village as the two suns hung low in the sky, painting everything in soft orange light. The air was warm, the wind gentle, and the smell of sweet flowers drifted around her. It felt peaceful, almost too peaceful. She liked this place, even though she was the only human living among these strange but kind aliens. They trusted her, and she trusted them. At least, she thought she did. Little Rinny, the young alien cub she often watched, ran ahead of her. His small feet kicked up dust as he laughed and chased a glowing bug. His fur shifted colors with his emotions, bright blue for excitement. Mara smiled. The cub was only 5 years old, full of energy and curiosity. He loved humans, especially her. Rinny, slow down, Mara called. Don't go too far. But Rinny only giggled and ran faster. He reached the edge of the forest, where tall crystal trees grew like twisted glass sculptures. Mara hurried to catch up. She knew the forest was safe during daytime, but she also knew Rinny had no fear. That could be dangerous. Rinny climbed a small rock, shouting proudly. Then, in one quick moment, the rock shifted. His tiny foot slipped. His body tilted. His cry echoed as he fell to the ground. Mara froze. The sound cut through her like a knife. The cub's cry was high and sharp. It carried through the village like an alarm. Within seconds, several aliens turned their heads. Their skin darkened with fear. Some gasped. Some shouted Rinny's name. Mara rushed forward and dropped to her knees beside him. Rinny sat on the ground, holding his arm and shaking. A thin red scratch ran across his skin. It was small, barely deeper than a paper cut. But aliens were not used to seeing blood. Even a little could look terrifying to them. It's okay, Mara whispered gently. It's not bad. Just a tiny scratch. But the aliens around them were already panicking. One mother screamed. A guard ran forward, shouting for help. The whispers grew louder. He's hurt. He is bleeding. Is the cub dying? Call the healers. Protect the human, she might know something. Mara felt their fear pulling the air tight around her. She lifted Rinny's arm and checked the scratch again. It was nothing. A minor wound. Back on Earth, a child would not even cry from this. But here, fear spread like fire. Rinny's small eyes were full of tears. It hurts, he whispered. I know, Mara said softly. But I can fix it. She reached into her small backpack and pulled out her human first aid kit. It was old, scratched, and mostly empty. But she still had a few cleaning wipes and a simple bandage sticker. Nothing special. Nothing magical. The aliens around her fell silent. Every one of them stared at the strange white box in her hands. Their bodies stopped moving. Their breathing slowed. Mara gently cleaned the scratch, wiping away the tiny bit of blood. Rinny sniffed but stopped crying. Then Mara peeled the paper off the bandage sticker and pressed it on his arm. The moment the bandage touched his skin, Rinny blinked. His tears stopped. His fur shifted from fearful gray to warm yellow. He let out a relieved sigh. To the aliens, it looked like he had been healed instantly. A sudden wave of gasps rose behind Mara. One alien fell to his knees. Another covered her mouth in shock. A guard dropped his spear. Someone whispered so loudly that everyone heard it. The human used a healing device. Another voice followed. She healed the cub with one touch. A third voice trembled. This human magic, it is real. Mara looked up, confused. It's not magic, she said slowly. It's just a bandage. But no one listened. Their eyes were wide, their breathing fast. They stared at Mara like she held the power of life and death. A messenger, thin, fast, and always nervous, turned and sprinted toward the Capitol Tower. His voice echoed as he ran. Tell the elders. Tell the council. The human healer has revealed her power. Mara opened her mouth to correct him, but he was already gone. More villagers gathered. Some bowed. Some whispered prayers. Some simply stared at her in awe and fear. Rinny stood proudly, showing off the bandage like a medal. Look, he said happily. It does not hurt anymore. Several aliens gasped again. Mara felt a cold shiver spread through her. Something was wrong, very wrong. They were misunderstanding everything. This was a simple bandage, the most basic human medical supply. But to the aliens, it was a miracle. Mara, one guard said softly, you must come with us. For what? She asked. For your safety, he said. But his voice trembled. He was scared of her. The crowd stepped back as she stood. Their eyes followed her every movement. Their whispers filled the air like buzzing insects. Her healing is powerful. What else can she do? What is she hiding? Is she dangerous? Is her race filled with healers? Mara felt her heart beat faster. She looked at the sky, calm and bright above her. For now. She had no idea that far beyond that peaceful sky, an entire alien armada had already received the news. They were changing course. They were coming. All because of a tiny scratch. And a simple human bandage. Mara walked through the village with 2 alien guards walking behind her. She could feel their nervous steps. They kept a small distance, as if she might explode at any moment. She wished she could laugh at the idea, but the situation was too strange to find funny. All this fear because she used a simple bandage. A human bandage. The guards led her to a round building shaped like a giant shell. Inside, the air was cool and dark. The alien elders stood in a circle, their clothes glowing softly. Their long fingers twitched with worry. Mara could sense the tension before anyone spoke. The chief elder stepped forward. His voice was deep and calm, but his eyes were full of fear. Mara of Earth, he said, we saw your healing power. Mara rubbed her forehead. It's not a power. It's medicine. Human medicine. The elders exchanged looks. Some shook their heads. Some whispered. The chief elder raised a hand to silence them. We have studied healing for centuries, he said. Our medicine cannot close wounds in seconds. But your device fixed the cub instantly. That is not simple. It was simple, Mara insisted. Rinny's scratch was tiny. The bandage didn't heal it. It only protected it. They stared at her like she was trying to hide something. The chief elder narrowed his eyes. Are you saying the cub healed himself? Yes, Mara said. His body did the healing. Not the bandage. Silence followed. A heavy, uncomfortable silence. Then one elder whispered, if that is true, then the human body heals faster than ours. Another added, if tiny human tools can fix injuries this quickly, what about bigger tools? A third leaned forward. What other powers do humans hide? Mara stepped back. Their fear was growing, not shrinking. She took a slow breath. You're misunderstanding everything, she said. Humans are not gods. Humans are not a threat. I'm just trying to help. But her words were falling on walls, not ears. Before the elders could respond, the door burst open. A breathless messenger stumbled inside. The signal, he gasped. The Armada received the message. Mara frowned. What Armada? The elder's face went pale. The Star Council's military fleet. They monitor the galaxy for dangerous technology. And, Mara asked slowly, why did they receive a message about me? The messenger swallowed. The healer, he whispered. They heard about the human healer. Mara felt the ground slip under her feet. She placed a hand on the wall to steady herself. "You told them I'm a healer?" she asked, voice shaking. "We only sent the facts," the chief elder said. "We reported that a human can heal open wounds with one touch." "I didn't heal anything," Mara shouted. "It was a scratch." The elders stepped back, startled by her raised voice. But Mara didn't care now. Panic rose inside her chest. "How big is this armada?" she asked. The chief elder's eyes lowered. 33 warships. Mara stared at him. 33 warships. For a bandage. This was insane. "Why would they even care?" she whispered. "Because," the elder replied, "if a single human can heal a wound instantly, then humans may have technology that can heal armies. That can change wars. That can save dying planets. Or destroy them." Mara put a hand on her face. "But that's not true." "Will the Armada believe that?" the elder asked softly. A long silence filled the room. Outside, deep rumbling echoed across the sky. The walls shook slightly. Dust fell from the ceiling. Everyone froze. The messenger whispered, trembling, "They have arrived." Mara ran outside. The sky was no longer sky. It was ships. Giant dark ships stretching across the horizon like a floating metal mountain. Red lights pulsed along their sides. Engines boomed like thunder. The entire village fell to their knees in fear. Mara felt tiny. Smaller than the smallest grain of sand. The Armada had come for her. For a misunderstanding. For a bandage. A deep voice spoke from the sky, booming through giant speakers. "Human known as Mara," it said, "step forward." The villagers scrambled aside, leaving a clear path. The same villagers who once smiled at her now hid behind walls. Mara forced herself to stand tall. A beam of white light shot down from the largest ship. A tall alien, wearing heavy armor, descended slowly. His eyes glowed silver. He carried no weapon, but his presence felt more dangerous than any gun. When he stepped onto the ground, it trembled. He stared at Mara for several seconds, as if studying a rare creature. "You cured a child," he said at last. "With a single device." Mara swallowed hard. "It was only a bandage." He tilted his head. "Then show me." Mara blinked. "Show you, what?" He raised his arm. A tiny scratch ran across his skin. "Show me," he repeated. "Heal me." A crowd gathered around them. Everyone held their breath. Even the wind stopped moving. Mara reached into her bag slowly. Her hands shook. She pulled out another simple bandage. She felt hundreds of eyes watching her. Waiting. She pressed the bandage onto the alien captain's arm. The moment she did, his eyes widened. His soldiers gasped. The villagers whispered. The lights on the ship flickered. They believed. They believed completely. Mara stared helplessly. This bandage. This tiny thing. Had just turned her into the most important, most feared, and most wanted person in the entire region of space. Mara stood frozen as the alien captain examined the bandage on his arm. His silver eyes reflected the tiny sticker like it was some ancient relic. He touched it gently, almost with fear, almost with respect. Then he looked at Mara again, and this time there was something new in his expression: hunger. A dangerous curiosity. A desire for what he believed she could do. Around them, soldiers whispered nervously. It worked on the captain. The stories were true. Humans have healing power. No, it is their secret device, the healing strip. Mara felt her stomach twist. Everything was spiraling out of control. She wanted to shout that it was not magical, not powerful, not special. Just a simple sticky bandage. But she could see in their faces, they would never believe her. The captain stepped closer. His armor hummed softly with energy. Up close, he was massive, almost 2 heads taller than her, with broad shoulders and strong limbs. His voice, when he spoke, sent a chill down her spine. "You must come with me," he said. Mara stepped back. "No. I didn't do anything." "You healed a wound in seconds," he said calmly. "Our healers cannot do that. Our machines cannot do that. Even our advanced medical bay cannot do that." "It wasn't me," Mara insisted. "It was your imagination." His eyes narrowed. "Are you saying I imagined my pain disappearing?" Mara hesitated. Because she knew the truth. The pain didn't disappear. The bandage only covered the scratch. The healing hadn't even started yet. But how could she explain basic biology to beings who believed wounds must be closed with lasers and machines? The captain raised his voice, loud enough for every villager to hear. "I am Captain Thale of the Star Council Armada," he announced. "And by galactic law, any species that creates advanced medical technology must share it with the Council." Mara's heart stopped. "Share? I don't have anything to share." Thale slowly circled her, studying her like a scientist studying a dangerous creature. "You carry a device that can heal instantly. You carry many of them. I saw the box. Your people must have entire factories for this." "It's not advanced," Mara said weakly. "It's just cotton. Glue. Medicine." But the words meant nothing to him. Thale looked at the crowd of aliens. "We came for peace," he said. "But if her technology is as powerful as we believe, we must secure it before rival empires arrive." Before Mara could speak, the sky suddenly flashed bright red. Another fleet appeared. Not one ship. Not 2. But 7 giant war cruisers bursting out of hyperspace like angry beasts. The villagers screamed and ran. Some fell to the ground. The guards lifted their weapons. Even Captain Thale's soldiers looked shaken. The new ships were black, shaped like wings. Their engines glowed crimson. Their symbol, a burning star inside a ring, shined on every ship. Thale cursed under his breath. The Red Claw Dominion. Mara had heard the name only once, in a warning. A violent alien faction. A group that believed all-powerful tech must be taken by force. The lead ship broadcasted a loud voice across the sky. "Human healer. Surrender yourself to the Red Claw Dominion. Your healing power belongs to us." Mara's blood ran cold. Thale grabbed her arm and pulled her behind him. "Stay close. They will kill thousands to capture you." "How many?" Mara whispered. "Everyone here," Thale said. "And more." The Red Claw ships dropped lower, forming a tight circle. Their cannons glowed, ready to fire. Villagers cried and huddled in groups. Children were pulled into homes. Even the bravest guards trembled. Mara felt her heart pounding so hard she could barely breathe. All because of one bandage. One tiny bandage. Thale's soldiers spread out, forming a protective ring around her. Their armor shimmered with shield energy. But Mara had no idea if it could stop a full attack. Thale pointed at the sky. "They think your healing tech can win them wars. They think it can cure their soldiers instantly." "It can't," Mara whispered. "They're wrong." "But they believe it," Thale said. "And belief is enough to start a war." A bright beam shot from one of the Red Claw cruisers, hitting the ground just meters away. Sand exploded into the air. Villagers screamed. Buildings trembled. Thale pushed Mara down behind a stone wall. "Stay low," he shouted. Her ears rang. Dust filled the air. Another blast followed, hitting a storage hut. Flames rose fast. Aliens ran out carrying children. Mara's heart broke. She never wanted this. She never wanted anyone hurt. She never wanted war. We have to stop them, Mara said. But how? Thale looked at her with a strange mix of fear and respect. There is only one way. You must make them believe you will join us. We must appear stronger. What if I refuse? She whispered. Then the Dominion will take you by force, he said. And they will destroy us all to do it. Mara looked at the burning building, at the terrified villagers, at the giant ships hovering like monsters waiting to strike. She had no weapons. No army. No training. Just a backpack with bandages. She took a deep breath. What do you want me to do? Thale placed a hand on her shoulder. Stand beside me. Show them the human healer stands with the Star Council. Mara swallowed. And if they don't believe us? Thale stared at the burning sky. They will attack, he said. And this village will be the first to fall. Mara stepped forward, her legs shaking, her mind screaming. But she forced herself to stand tall beside Thale. Above them, the Red Claw ships aimed their cannons again. One tiny bandage had started a fire. And that fire was about to consume more than she ever imagined. The air felt heavy, as if the whole sky was holding its breath. Mara stood beside Captain Thale, her hands shaking, her heart pounding so loudly she was sure the soldiers could hear it. The Red Claw ships hovered above them like giant predators searching for weakness. Their cannons glowed brighter with every passing second. Thale lifted his chin and stepped forward. Red Claw Dominion, he shouted, his voice strong and deep, the human healer is under the protection of the Star Council Armada. A cold laugh echoed from the Red Claw flagship, booming across the open sky. Protection, the voice replied. You think your old laws will stop us? We saw what she did. We saw her heal with one touch. It was not healing. Mara shouted, unable to stay silent. It was a bandage. A normal human bandage. But her words disappeared into the wind. The Red Claw voice continued. Human healer, it said, surrender yourself now. We offer you honor. Comfort. Safety. More than the council can give. Mara glanced at Thale. His face hardened. Do not answer them, he whispered. But the Red Claw commander was not done. If you refuse, the deep voice warned, we will take you. And we will destroy anything in our path. A low hum filled the air. Red lights on the enemy ships brightened. Every villager cried out or covered their ears. Some fell to the ground, shaking. Children hid behind stones. Even Thale's soldiers tightened their stance. The Red Claw were preparing to fire. Mara felt fear rush through her body like ice water. She wanted to run. She wanted to hide. She wanted to disappear and pretend none of this was happening. But she could not. Because she had caused it. Not by choice. Not by action. But by accident. A child got a scratch. She used a bandage. Now 2 alien empires wanted her. Thale stepped closer. His voice dropped low so only she could hear. There is only one way to stop them. Mara's breath caught. What way? You must show them you stand with us, Thale said. You must show the Dominion that you choose our side, not theirs. And why would that stop them? Mara asked. Thale's silver eyes met hers. Because the Dominion fears us. If they believe we have your healing power, they may back away. But I don't have any power, Mara whispered shakily. Just bandages. No, Thale said firmly. They do not care what is true. They only care what they believe. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed from the council ship behind them. Captain, a soldier shouted. Red Claw war cannons are charging for a full strike. Thale swore and turned to Mara. This is our last chance. Step forward. Show them you are not afraid. Mara felt her knees weaken. I can't fight. You don't need to fight, Thale said. You only need to stand. It sounded simple. But nothing had ever felt harder. Still, Mara forced her feet to move. She walked out from behind the protection of the wall. The ground felt unstable beneath her as she stepped into the open. Every eye focused on her. Thale raised her arm high in the air, showing the Dominion that she stood with him. The soldiers behind him straightened. The villagers held their breath. For 1 second, the world was silent. Then the Red Claw commander laughed again. A show of unity, he said. How touching. But empty. The sky lit up bright red. The Dominion fired. A thick beam of red energy shot from the nearest ship straight toward the village. Mara felt her heart stop. Thale reacted instantly, throwing his arm forward. His armor glowed as a massive energy shield erupted from his gauntlet. The beam slammed into the shield, shaking the ground violently. The villagers screamed. Stones cracked. Sand blasted into the air. Thale grunted, forcing his strength into the shield. Mara could see his legs trembling from the pressure. Captain, one soldier shouted. The shield won't hold. Thale's voice strained. Fall back. Protect the human. The Dominion stopped firing, only to prepare a second, stronger blast. Mara grabbed Thale's arm. You can't protect everyone. They'll kill us. Thale's gaze sharpened. Not if they think you can heal us all. Mara shook her head. I can't. I can't. You don't need to, Thale repeated. They only need to fear the power they think you have. Before Mara could reply, the second beam started to charge. The humming grew louder, vibrating through the ground. Cracks spread in the soil beneath her feet. Suddenly, the Red Claw commander's voice erupted through the speakers. Human healer, he roared. Prove your power. Heal one of our soldiers, and we will consider peace. Mara froze. Thale stiffened beside her. Another ship lowered from the Dominion fleet. Its side opened, revealing a Red Claw warrior being dragged out. His armor was cracked. His chest was bleeding badly. He collapsed on the ramp, coughing weakly. He was injured in battle, the commander said. Heal him, human. Show us your gift. Mara stared at the wounded alien. His breathing was shallow. His skin fading. Thale whispered urgently, do not do it. If you heal them, even by accident, they will never let you go. But if I don't, Mara whispered, they'll attack. Thale nodded grimly. Yes. Mara's mind raced. If she touched him, even checked his wounds, they would twist it into proof of her power. If she refused, the Dominion would destroy the village. She had no good choices. Her hands shook. Sweat dripped down her forehead. The entire sky seemed to lean toward her, watching, waiting. Then she slowly reached for her backpack. Thale grabbed her wrist. Mara, don't. But Mara pulled free. Because she knew one thing. Someone would die either way. And she couldn't let it happen without trying. She stepped forward toward the dying soldier. And behind her, both fleets began charging their weapons once more. It was the moment before the storm. And Mara stood in the center of it. Mara walked toward the injured Red Claw soldier, feeling every step like a weight pulling her deeper into danger. The air was so still it felt dead. The villagers hid behind broken walls. Thale's soldiers pointed their weapons forward. Above them, 2 alien fleets hovered with trembling engines, waiting for her next move. The wounded soldier lay on the metal ramp of his ship. His breathing was rough, and dark blood stained his armor. His eyes flickered open as Mara approached. He looked confused, almost scared of her. Mara knelt beside him. I'm not a healer, she whispered. I can only clean the wound. That's all. The soldier stared at her, trying to speak. No words came out. Behind her, the Red Claw commander's voice boomed, "Show us your healing magic, human." Mara clenched her jaw. She did not want to play this game. She did not want to be their miracle. But she also could not let this soldier die in front of her. She opened her backpack with trembling hands. She had only 3 bandages left. 3 simple, harmless, normal human bandages. Yet these bandages had turned into legend. Mara cleaned the wound with a wipe. The soldier winced but did not resist. Then she pressed the bandage to the open cut. It looked ridiculous, so tiny, so fragile, compared to the blood and the alien armor. She leaned back. The soldier blinked. Silence. Stillness. Not even the wind dared to move. Then the Red Claw soldiers gasped. He is breathing easier. The bleeding slowed. It works, it works. Mara wanted to scream. Of course the bleeding slowed, she had applied pressure and wrapped it properly. That was normal first aid. But they saw something else. Something impossible. The Red Claw commander laughed. "Human healer," he said, "your power is real." Thale stepped forward. "Enough. She helped your soldier. Now leave." But the commander did not leave. His voice grew cold. "No," he said. "Now we know her power can save dying soldiers. We will take her. By force, if we must." Red lights glowed brighter on every Dominion ship. Thale shouted to his soldiers, "Shields up. Prepare to defend the human." The ground shook as the Armada ships powered their weapons. The village walls cracked. Flames from earlier strikes burned hotter. The air turned thick with heat and danger. The Red Claw commander spoke again. "Human healer. You have 2 choices." Mara held her breath. "1, he said, "you come with us willingly." Thale snarled. "She will never." The commander raised his voice. "Or 2, we destroy this entire area and take you from the ruins." Mara felt her chest tighten. She looked at the villagers hiding behind rocks, their faces terrified. She looked at Rinny, the little cub she helped earlier, clinging to his mother. She looked at Thale, standing like an unbreakable wall in front of her. She could not let them die because of a misunderstanding. But before she could decide, something unexpected happened. The bandage on the injured Red Claw soldier began to glow. Not because of magic. Not because of power. But because his blood reacted to the bandage's chemicals, an unknown biological reaction. The bandage lit up faintly, like a tiny blue fire. A chorus of shocked screams rose from both fleets. "It glows. It activates. It is a true healing artifact. The human carries divine medicine." Mara's heart jumped into her throat. "No, no, no. It's not glowing on purpose. It's just a reaction. It's not." But nobody heard her. The belief had already become unstoppable. Thale's soldiers looked at her with awe. The Red Claw soldiers stared with fear and desire. Even the villagers whispered her name like a prayer. Captain Thale stepped closer to her, voice low. "This is worse," he said. "Now they believe you have active healing tech. They will not stop." The Red Claw commander gave a single order. "Seize her." All 7 Dominion ships lowered at once. Soldiers jumped from the ramps, armor glowing red. Weapons charged. Heavy footsteps thundered toward Mara. Thale reacted instantly. He grabbed her arm. "Run!" Mara stumbled back, but the ground shook violently as the Dominion soldiers advanced. Thale pushed her behind a broken column and fired his gauntlet cannon. A beam of blue energy shot across the battlefield, knocking several Red Claw soldiers back. Villagers screamed and ran. Thal's army spread out, trying to buy her time. Mara! Thal yelled. Head for the council ship. They'll protect you. She darted toward the landing platform, heart beating like a drum. But as she reached the stairs, a red claw warrior landed in front of her. His armor was huge, his face hidden behind a mask. You belong to us, he growled. Mara stepped back, shaking. She raised her hands, but she had nothing, no weapon, no tools, nothing but bandages. The warrior reached for her. But a sudden flash of light exploded between them. A force like a shockwave threw Mara backward. She hit the ground, shaken but alive. When she looked up, she froze. The bandage on the first injured Red Claw soldier was glowing brighter, so bright it cast blue light across the sand. His eyes shot open. His wounds had closed far faster than they should have. He stood up, staring at her with something close to worship. He spoke in a trembling voice. She saved me. The human saved me. The other Dominion soldiers hesitated. The glowing bandage frightened them. They stepped back. The Red Claw commander shouted, "Hold your ground. Do not fear her." But fear already spread. The healed soldier pointed at Mara. She is not to be harmed. She is chosen. Chaos rippled through the Dominion ranks. Some wanted to retreat. Some wanted to capture her. Some wanted to worship her. And that confusion saved her life. Thal pulled Mara to her feet and whispered, "This is our chance. We must leave. Now." Mara looked at the glowing bandage. Something she never expected. Something she never wanted. "Thal," she whispered, terrified. "What have I become?" Thal tightened his grip around her arm. "Something the entire galaxy will fight over," he said. "Now run." And together, they ran toward the council ship, as two alien empires tore the sky apart behind them.